Natural aerobic performance is bottlenecked by the low solubility of oxygen in plasma and the limited iron binding sites within hemoglobin molecules. The Respirocyte is a theoretical molecular nanotechnology device designed by Robert Freitas to function as an artificial mechanical red blood cell. Constructed from diamondoid materials, the Respirocyte shell provides extreme structural integrity, capable of withstanding internal pressures of 1,000 atmospheres. Each unit measures exactly 1 micron in diameter, making it significantly smaller than a natural red blood cell, which averages 8 microns. A single Respirocyte stores over 5 billion oxygen molecules, providing 200 times more oxygen per unit volume than biological blood. The surface is embedded with molecular sorting rotors that selectively capture oxygen and glucose while excluding other plasma components through shape recognition. Onboard nanocomputers regulate gas exchange, drawing energy from blood glucose to power internal pumps and sensors without requiring external charging. Beyond oxygen delivery, Respirocytes actively pump carbon dioxide out of tissues, preventing acid buildup and maintaining perfect physiological pH levels during exertion. With a full dose of Respirocytes, a human could perform a maximum intensity sprint for 15 minutes without taking a single breath. Therapeutic levels of these nanomachines would allow a person to sit at the bottom of a pool for 4 hours while remaining fully conscious. In cases of massive blood loss, Respirocytes serve as a universal blood substitute, maintaining tissue oxygenation even when blood pressure drops to critical levels. During a heart attack, Respirocytes bypass local blockages by releasing stored oxygen directly into the hypoxic cardiac tissue, preventing cell death and permanent scarring. Ischemic stroke damage is minimized as Respirocytes continue to nourish the brain, providing a massive window for medical intervention before neurons begin to die. Climbers could summit Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen tanks, as the devices compensate for low atmospheric pressure by maximizing available oxygen transport efficiency. The devices are immune to carbon monoxide poisoning, as their mechanical sorting rotors refuse to bind with the toxic gas molecules that disable biological hemoglobin. The high metabolic activity supported by Respirocytes generates significant internal heat, requiring advanced thermal regulation to prevent the body from overheating during peak performance. Doctors can communicate with Respirocytes using ultrasonic pulses, allowing them to remotely trigger the release or uptake of gases based on patient needs. To prevent immune rejection, the diamondoid surface is coated with a biomimetic layer that prevents white blood cells from identifying the devices as foreign invaders. Integrated sensors constantly monitor plasma salinity and osmotic pressure, ensuring that the addition of billions of nanomachines does not disrupt the delicate balance of blood fluids. The Respirocyte functions as a secondary pH buffer, using internal reservoirs of acid and base to neutralize lactic acid immediately after it enters the bloodstream. Onboard water ballast tanks allow the Respirocyte to adjust its density, preventing the nanomachines from settling or clumping in the lower extremities during periods of inactivity. If a shell fracture occurs, the internal pressure is released slowly through safety valves to prevent a localized gas embolism that could damage surrounding tissues. Specialized nanofiltration units located in the spleen or external dialysis machines can remove expired or damaged Respirocytes from the circulation without affecting natural blood components. By removing the oxygen bottleneck, Respirocytes allow the human body to sustain metabolic rates previously seen only in high-performance hummingbirds or insects. A standard injection of 5 cubic centimeters of Respirocyte suspension can deliver as much oxygen as the entire 5 liters of a normal adult's blood supply. The traditional anaerobic threshold is effectively eliminated, as tissues never run out of oxygen, even during the most grueling physical labor or athletic competition. Human cells become virtually immune to low oxygen environments, extending survival time in smoke-filled buildings or depressurized aircraft from minutes to several hours. Donor organs perfused with respirocyte-rich solutions can remain viable for transport for days instead of hours, drastically increasing the success rate of global transplant networks. The device mimics the enzyme carbonic anhydrase to accelerate the conversion of carbon dioxide into bicarbonate, facilitating rapid transport from the periphery to the lungs. Being smaller and more rigid than red cells, respirocytes lower the overall viscosity of blood, reducing the workload on the heart and improving peripheral circulation. The introduction of respirocytes would render current anti-doping tests obsolete, requiring a total re-evaluation of what constitutes natural human ability in professional sports. Special forces could operate at extreme depths without bulky breathing apparatus, relying on internal reserves and infrequent, brief surface intervals to recharge their blood. Patients suffering from emphysema or cystic fibrosis could regain normal activity levels as respirocytes compensate for the reduced gas exchange surface area in their lungs. Mass production of respirocytes requires advanced molecular assembly lines capable of building trillions of diamondoid structures with atomic precision at a viable cost. In the event of rapid decompression, the nanocomputer can trigger an emergency dump of oxygen into the plasma to prevent the formation of nitrogen bubbles. Dynamic control of respirocyte density allows for the real-time adjustment of blood viscosity, potentially preventing hypertension by reducing the mechanical resistance to flow. Wound healing is accelerated as respirocytes deliver massive oxygen doses to the site of injury, fueling the rapid division of fibroblasts and collagen production. Respirocytes do not store nitrogen, effectively eliminating the risk of decompression sickness for divers returning from deep water environments at high speeds. By broadcasting their sensor data via acoustic waves, respirocytes provide a continuous, high-fidelity stream of blood chemistry data to a wearable diagnostic device. The controlled release of oxygen by mechanical rotors reduces the formation of free radicals, potentially slowing the cellular aging process caused by oxidative stress. Astronauts could survive brief accidental vacuum exposure or long-duration spacewalks with reduced life support requirements thanks to their augmented internal oxygen reserves. Consistent, optimal oxygenation prevents the subtle, chronic hypoxia that contributes to organ failure and cognitive decline as the human body ages. The ultimate integration of respirocytes heralds a transition where the circulatory system is no longer a biological limit, but a programmable technological platform. Synthetic blood marks the end of our dependence on inefficient evolutionary accidents, allowing us to redesign our physiology for the demands of the future. Respirocytes represent the pinnacle of medical nanotechnology, offering superhuman endurance, life-saving trauma intervention, and a new baseline for human physical existence.